Who's our closest living relative, chimpanzees or bonobos? For centuries, scientists were arguing about which animal species is the closest living relative to modern humans. While scientific biology partners had some weird and borderline offensive theories regarding human evolution, science itself kept evolving. It quickly became sufficiently advanced to answer this question, or at least guess in the right direction. By the second half of the 20th century, the scope of the search was already just limited to the Hominidae family. It includes 4 genera of the great apes, orangutans, gorillas, chimps, and well, us humans. This is WildFacts, and today we're going to tell you the story of human evolution and determine who's our closest living relatives. Before we start, consider subscribing to our channel and clicking the notification bell so you're the first one to see our new video. Great ape lineage. Just a few decades ago, scientists were thinking that the gorilla is the closest living human relative, but they were wrong. Then it was the orangutan which was put on the pedestal of being the most human ape, but once again, the scientists were wrong. The easiest way to understand how similar or different any two species are is to find out when was the most recent point in history that they were still the same species. In other words, when was the last time they shared the same ancestor? It's because the later the two species split, the less time they had to evolve separately and become different. To illustrate this idea, we should take a look at the great ape lineage. Let's start with the genus Pongo, which today consists of 3 extant orangutan species. It's believed that it was the first great ape lineage to split off from the common great ape ancestor, sometime between 18 to 14 million years ago. The second great ape genus to go on its own way was the genus Gorilla, today consisting of 2 species, each with at least 2 subspecies. It's thought that gorillas diverged from the common human chimp ancestor about 10 million years ago. And finally, the genus Homo consists of a single extant species, us, and the genus Pan consists of 2 distinct species separated about 5 million years ago. The 2 species that make up the genus Pan are chimpanzees and bonobos, the latter being the last great ape species that we've discovered. Less than a century ago, it was thought that bonobos and chimpanzees were the exact same species, but they couldn't be any more different. However, just how different are they from humans, and which of these 2 species is most similar to us? To put it simply, are our closest living relatives chimpanzees or bonobos? Chimpanzees and bonobos. For starters, they share 99.6% of their DNA, making them close relatives, but there are some obvious differences, both physical and psychological. For example, chimpanzees are slightly larger than bonobos. On average, male chimps are 4 feet 4 inches or 1.3 meters tall and weigh 130 pounds or 59 kilograms, while male bonobos average 4 feet 3 inches or 1.3 meters in height and 100 pounds or 45 kilograms in weight. An average female chimpanzee is 4 feet 1 inches or 1.24 meters tall and weighs 93 pounds or 42 kilograms, while an average female bonobo is 4 feet 2 inches or 1.28 centimeters tall and weighs about 74 pounds or 33 kilograms. From these measurements, we can see 2 things. The first is that chimps have much more robust and muscular builds compared to bonobos, which are leaner. It explains why chimps are much better climbers, while bonobos are much more comfortable walking on 2 legs. The second is that chimpanzees are more sexually dimorphic, that is, the size difference between males and females is larger than the one exhibited by bonobos. While a seemingly small detail, the size difference between the sexes will show itself to be crucial when talking about the social behavior of these species. Continuing about the physical appearance, bonobos are slightly more hairy than chimps. They have longer head hair and hairy cheeks, which hide their black faces. On the other hand, chimpanzees have light-skinned faces that get darker with age. Moving on to their habitat, chimps are more widely distributed than bonobos. They live in several regions of Africa, resulting in 4 distinct subspecies. Central chimpanzees inhabit Central Africa, including countries like Gabon and Cameroon. Eastern chimpanzees live in Uganda and Rwanda. Nigeria-Cameroon chimps, as the name implies, are found in Nigeria and Cameroon. And finally, Western chimpanzees live in Ghana, Guinea, Senegal, and Mali. Such a wide distribution shows just how adaptable chimpanzees are. They can not only adapt, but thrive in several habitats, ranging from arid savannas and grasslands to tropical and mountain rainforests. On the other hand, bonobos are only found in the forests located south of the Congo River. Where the 2 species are similar is their diet. Both chimps and bonobos are omnivorous animals, eating everything from fruits and plants to insects and mammals. However, chimpanzees are observed to be more carnivorous than bonobos and sometimes engage in group hunting, preying on animals like antelopes, bush pigs, and even baboons. Chimpanzees and bonobos are also comparable cognitively. Both species score about the same on most tests. That said, there's a statistically significant difference between the two species on two cognitive scales. Chimpanzees consistently outperform bonobos on tool use and casualty tasks, which test to what degree an animal can manipulate objects to reach a desired outcome, while bonobos are superior in theory of mind tasks, which test the ability to understand the intentions of another individual. In a very rudimentary way, it shows the level of empathy. Now, this leads to the final area of comparison, the social behavior. Chimpanzees have become infamous for their aggression and sheer brutality. Chimps are known to engage in violent conflicts with other chimp tribes and even take a liking to cannibalism. The scariest part is that such behavior is not only seen between tribes, but also within tribes. There are dozens of recorded cases where male chimps overthrow the alpha male of the tribe, tearing the alive leader apart, sometimes even consuming the body parts to celebrate the victory. In comparison, bonobos are much more peaceful. They tend to live in larger tribes, sometimes exceeding 100 individuals, while chimps usually live in groups of 20. Unlike chimps, who have to endure the totalitarian rule of their alpha male, bonobos are guided by an old female. The matriarch sits at the top of the bonobo hierarchy. Unlike male chimps that achieve such status mostly by physical intimidation, the bonobo female is granted the ruling rights due to her experience and the extent of her social alliance. Such an unusual hierarchical structure isn't found in any other great ape. Finally, bonobos are much more sexual creatures than chimpanzees. They engage in various forms of sensual pleasure up to 12 times a day, and they don't shy away from experimenting with their own gender. So to sum it up, chimpanzees are bigger, more aggressive, more sexually dimorphic, and better at using tools. Bonobos, on the other hand, are leaner, smaller, more peaceful, empathetic, matriarchal, live in larger tribes, and are more communal. That being said, which of these species is closer to us? Are we closer to chimpanzees or bonobos? Both of these great apes share 98.7% of their DNA with humans, making both of them our closest living relatives. It makes sense when you think about it, as it's like humans took only the best features of both chimpanzees and bonobos, resulting in the ultimate species that has come to dominate the entire planet. We took the adaptability of chimps and the bipedalism of bonobos to spread across the globe. The tool use and aggression of chimps combined with the theory of mind and empathy of bonobos helped us to develop complex hunting strategies, which allowed early humans to hunt much larger prey. While human societies are still primarily patriarchal, it's not dictated by physicality like in chimp tribes. Human hierarchies are built on competence and networking, which is similar to what we find in bonobo tribes. It's clear that humans not only possess the best features of both chimps and bonobos, but are also much more polished and improved versions of those features. As a result, neither chimps nor bonobos are our closest living relatives. It's both. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and suggestions for future videos in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and check out our previous videos.